exposure of translating their foreign currency. What hedging technique should they use? Now, a quick reminder for those of you who are joining us for their very first time, when it comes to foreign currency, like we have here Mr. A. Mr. A expects to receive dollars 1 million. Dollars 1 million in 3 months' time. In 3 months' time. Then we have been given exchange rates. Remember, Mr. A is myself. I happen to be a Kenyan, but I'm expecting to receive a lot of money, which will be coming to me in terms of dollars. So I must be worried, being a Kenyan, I must be worried of the prevailing exchange rate. So exchange rate in this case, ladies and gentlemen, they have given us 2 of them. We have the spot exchange rate, which is 100 to 102 Kenya shillings per dollar. And then we have what we are calling here the 3 months forward. The 3 months forward. We have 103 to 103.5 Kenya shillings per dollar. So we are required to determine the amount receivable by Mr. A in Kenya shillings. Amount receivable by Mr. A in Kenya shillings. I hope somebody, great, I can see somebody who has raised up his hand. Yeah, let me unmute you so that you can ask your question. It's important when you log into Zoom, you use your name. There is a place they ask for a name. That way I'll be able to know who is asking a question instead of referring you using your phone's mic. He's not talking. He's okay, has lowered his hand. Right, thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, given this amount which I expect to receive, I'm a Kenyan, I'm in Kenya here, but I expect to receive foreign currency. So I've been offered in this case here 2 types of exchange rates here. How much am I going to receive? It's $1 million, but I want to know how much will I receive in terms of Kenya shillings. This is some kind of mathematics that you used to encounter in high school. Before I do it, I would want to get a suggestion from you. I would want, in this case here, Emma, to give us a suggested answer. Doesn't matter whether you get it right or wrong. We just trying it out here. Emma, from your computations, how much do you think will I be receiving in Kenya shillings in 3 months' time?
A minute.
A minute, no problem. I'll give you actually 2 minutes. Great. Unfortunately, it's only Emma who entered through into this Zoom meeting using her name. All the others, I don't know whether it was by design.
Which is good. Is it 103?
According to Emma, Emma is giving us an answer of 103 million. A very good trial. Yes, I've also seen some other student called Joe. Joe, could you be having some answer for us? Remember, I've just introduced the topic, so even if you get it wrong, there is no problem. Just try, like Emma has tried and given us an answer of 103 million Kenya shillings. So I can see Joe and I can see Kojay. If you could unmute them. For those of you who are following us through Facebook Live, we request you to share this post on your timelines. It's important for you to promote your teacher. Now, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I like what Madam Emma has been able to know from the word go, that we cannot make use of this spot exchange rate. Spot exchange rate means what? The rate of exchange which is prevailing today. So spot exchange rate is today's exchange rate. And remember, Mr. A is not receiving this money today. Mr. A will be receiving this money in how many months' time? In 3 months' time. And that is why we can only go ahead and work with the 3 months what year forward exchange rate. So now we are in agreement that we are using the 3 months forward exchange rate, the 3 months forward exchange rate, which they have told us here is 103 to 103.5 Kenya shillings per US dollar. Now, ladies and gentlemen, having discovered this, the next thing will be between the two rates. Which one in this case here is the buying rate? Which one is the selling rate? Remember what we said in our normal classes, or rather for those of you who have registered with every school. What we've been saying is that we have two types of quotations. We have what we call the direct quote. I hope you're taking your notes. We have the direct quote. And then number two, we have what we call the indirect quote. So for direct quotation, we are normally given the amount of the local currency, which is needed to buy a unit of foreign currency. Amount of local currency, like now we are given 103 Kenya shillings, amount of local currency needed to buy a unit of foreign currency. Foreign currency. So America, US is a foreign country. So the dollar becomes a foreign what year currency. So if it is a direct quotation, remember what we normally say is that banks will buy low. Banks buy low and they sell high. And they sell high in order to make a profit. So if it's a direct quotation, when things are directly stated, when these exchange rates are directly stated, banks will buy at a lower rate, this rate here. So this is the lower rate, 103 is lower as compared to 103.5. So banks will buy here. So this becomes the buying rate. This becomes what here? The bank selling rate. So it's important that you get to define that. When I do these Trump questions, which are sent to you through our WhatsApp platform, you'll be able to see how we shall be tackling the indirect quotation. So for direct quote, I'm repeating again that this is a direct quotation. Why? Because we can see it is amount of local currency, Kenya shillings, going into a dollar. And we've said that for direct quotes, banks buy low and they sell what here? High. Now from there, in our context, in Mr. A's context, come and define the role of the bank. The bank's what here? Role. Now remember, Mr. A is the one who will receive this foreign currency. In 3 months' time, Mr. A will receive $1 million. Mr. A is myself. So I'll receive $1 million. So once I get this $1 million, what I will do is to put this money in a briefcase, this serious money. Put this money in a serious briefcase, and then of course I take this money to a bank, perhaps Equity Bank. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment I'm at Equity Bank, so what will Equity Bank be doing from me? Equity Bank will be buying. So the role of Equity Bank here, the bank's role is to buy the $1 million US dollars. The moment you have defined the role of the bank, now you'll be able to come back here and know the rate which you're going to pick. So in this case here, the bank will buy the $1 million US at 103 Kenya shillings per what year? Per dollar. Now from there, the last thing that we'll do is to go ahead and exchange for us. While exchanging, we are saying that 103 Kenya shillings equals $1. How about 1 million? How about 1 million? How about 1 million US dollars? So cross multiply, and if you cross multiply, you'll end up getting what Emma gave us. What Emma gave us, if you cross multiply, these are million times 103. It'll be 103 million Kenya what year? Kenya shillings. 103 million Kenya shillings. And yes, Emma was correct. If it were not that this economy has really shrunk because of the coronavirus, Emma should have gotten a very good gift from me this afternoon. So 103 million Kenya shillings is correct. I would want you to unmute these students here if possible. One person should ask a question regarding this before I go to the gist of today. Is there anybody who has a question? Yeah, there is somebody who was not able to hear us. I hope our admin has been able to direct you, and you are able to hear as we speak. So nobody has a question, so I'm assuming that you guys have followed very well. And that now gives me an opportunity of taking you straight away to our today's what year question. Our today's question, which I'd really asked you to print out, is called a Trumpton. Trumpton. Meanwhile, please, for the ones who are watching us live through Facebook, don't forget to share this particular post. Remember, at this particular juncture, when CASNEB has fixed a date for our exams and the colleges are not in operation, sharing with your friends. This kind of information is really caring on your side. Great. So Trumpton, we are told here, Trumpton. We are told that Trumpton PLC. Trumpton PLC has bought goods from a US supplier. Ladies and gentlemen, Trumpton PLC, by the look of things, this company happens to be in the UK. How have I known that it's in the UK? Because we have got two currencies. We have here the UK pound and we have the dollar. And then we are told here that this company has bought goods from a US supplier and must pay $4 million. So meaning that this company can only be worried if this money is foreign. So meaning that $4 million happens to be what here? Foreign currency. So the company is based in the UK. So I want from this moment, all of us to start reasoning like Britons. We are British. You know, many times they have given us two countries, and Kenya happens not to be among those countries. And in many cases, very many students will call me that, Mwalimu, fine, you taught us this topic very well, but unfortunately Kenya was nowhere this time around. You don't have to see Kenya there really. The most important thing is that you have to understand your residence. Like this company is a company that has a residence in the UK. And now we should be reasoning like British people. So we are told Trumpton PLC has bought goods from a US supplier and must pay $4 million for them in 3 months' time. The company's finance director wishes to hedge against the foreign exchange risk, and the 3 methods which the company usually considers are, number 1, using a forward exchange contract. And then number 2, money market borrowing or lending. And then number 3, making lead payments. So I would want us, first of all, to advise these people, this company called Trumpton, how much they will incur, how much they will be required to pay in terms of their currency, in terms of the UK pounds, if we use the forward exchange contract. So mention there forward exchange contract, forward exchange contract, forward exchange contract. So for the forward exchange contract, I need two things. Number one, I need the amount involved. So amount involved here is $4 million, $3 million, 4 million. And then the other thing, ladies and gentlemen, we need the 3 months forward exchange rate. So we need the 3 months forward exchange rate, forward exchange rate. And the 3 months forward exchange rate, ladies and gentlemen, they have given us here many exchange rates. We can see, if you have that question there, you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we have the spot. We don't want that for now. We have 1 month. I don't want that. I have the 3 months forward exchange rate, which is 1.8445 to $1.8460 per pound, per UK pound, dollars per UK pound, dollars per UK pound. So there I've been able to pick two things. That when they tell me to use forward exchange contract model, I need two things. Number one, I need the amount in the question. And then number two, ladies and gentlemen, I need the exchange rate. Once you give me these two things, then I will be able straight away to define between the two, which one is the buying rate and which one is the selling rate. Between the two, which one is the buying rate and which one is the selling rate. So ladies and gentlemen, what type of quotation is this? Get to see where your home currency is placed. Here we are saying per pound. Remember, our residence is in the UK. The company is based in UK. So per pound. So our home currency is on this side. And if the home currency is on this side, then automatically this becomes an indirect quotation. And if it's an indirect quotation, then the higher figure becomes by, this other one here becomes what here? Sell. Because it's indirect. Indirect means opposite. Things are looking abnormally here. So you can see the higher rate becomes buy, the lower rate becomes what here? Sell. And this is a concept that I would want really to dive into, especially in our Sundays class. Remember, we have a free of charge class on Sunday at 2 p.m., of which you need to be a member of our WhatsApp group. There is a WhatsApp group that we have called AFM, online WhatsApp group. So if you're not a member of that class, you'll not be able to get our schedules very well. You need to reach out to us, and then we shall be able to add you onto that group, where we'll be able to share with you our timetable for the Sunday class. So we have here buy, sell. So from there, give us the role of the bank. Quite obvious. Remember here, Trumpton is the one that has imported goods, has bought goods. So Trumpton is required to make a payment, which is in foreign what here? Currency. So for example, I am a Kenyan. If I'm required to make a payment, for example, I've bought a vehicle worth, say, $50,000 US. Remember, I'm in Kenya, and I would want to pay somebody perhaps in Japan $50,000 US. So because I don't have US dollars with me, I'll have to run to a bank. So the bank will have to sell to me the dollars. Ladies and gentlemen, I would want you to master this, that if you as an individual are expecting to receive foreign currency, so if the currency you are expecting to receive is foreign, then the bank will always buys that currency from you as an individual. What if as an individual I want to make a foreign payment? As an individual, if I want to make a foreign payment, ladies and gentlemen, then the bank will have to sell to me this foreign currency to enable me make that foreign international payment. So you can even cram it this way, that for all international payments, the bank, remember the bank's role here is intermediary. If it's an international payment that I would want to make, the bank has to enable me to make that payment by selling to me. So the role of the bank, because this Trampton company has imported goods, is required to make a payment. So the bank, in this case here, the bank will sell. So the bank will sell at what rate? The bank will sell at what rate? The selling rate is here, is $1.8445. I'm picking this per watt year per pound. So from there, go ahead and exchange. Go ahead and exchange. Go ahead and exchange. So as we exchange, ladies and gentlemen, as we exchange, of course, we know the amount is $4,000, and this is an amount which is given in form of dollars. So there is no way we can multiply dollar and dollar. If you try multiplying these two, you'll end up getting dollars squared, and dollar squared doesn't make sense. So it means that when you are exchanging, like in this case, you will take $4 million all over $1.8445 per watt year per pound. So dollars and dollars will do what here? Will cancel out. Dollars and dollars will cancel out, leaving me with what here? With pounds. So we have here 4 million. We have 4 million divided by 1.8445, which will give us 2168, 609.38 in this case here per pounds. Whether you should divide or multiply is to do it in our manual, traditional way, where you say $1.8445 equals 1 pound. How about in this case here, this number of dollars? How about $4 million? How about $4 million like that? So once you do that, we'll be able to see through cross multiplication, this times that divided by. You'll be able to get that. So the last one for today, remember this was just to be an introductory class for all of us to be able to know how this Zoom is working. For the last item, I would want us to try this, the last item on our own. You see, if you have that paper with you there, there is this other technique of hedging which they want us to use, ladies and gentlemen, which is called lead hedging technique. Lead hedging technique. So the lead hedging technique, ladies and gentlemen, this is where we forfeit whatever credit periods we are given. So this person has told us that he's going to give us a credit period of 3 months. But when you look at things, for example, like now, how things have been made complicated by this COVID, how things have been made complicated by this COVID-19 stuff, where we are, for example, in Kenya here experiencing depreciation of our currency, where our Kenya shilling is really losing value. So the moment we realize that in future, we shall be paying more because of our currency depreciating, then we could be much better off in this case here paying today. So lead payment, lead comes from which word? Lead comes from taking first position. Leading is the opposite of lagging. So when you talk of leading is where basically you say, no, you have given me fine all this number of days here to pay, but I want to pay today because I'm foreseeing the future being problematic. So whenever they talk of lead hedging technique, ladies and gentlemen, this is another language of them telling you to use the spot exchange rate. To use the spot exchange rate. Use the spot exchange rate. Use the spot exchange rate. So what have we said? I want to repeat again. That when they tell us to use lead hedging technique, what do? You will use the spot exchange rate. So here we have our spot exchange rate, which has been defined in the question as 0.8625 to 1.8635 dollars per pound, like that. Dollars per pound, like that. And then we have the amount in the question. Amount here which we need to exchange is $4 million. So I want you to use this spot exchange rate to change this amount to UK pounds, and I'm giving you exactly 2 minutes to do that, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody should be able to help me do this. So I'm expecting somebody to be able to get this correct. Okiri Frederick, could you kindly give us your answer, suggested answer? Mr. Joe, kindly give us a
2147,651.
Yes.
2147,651.
2146?
47,651.
47,651.
51.
51. Of course, they are not cows, so they must be pounds, isn't it?
Yes.
Thank you very much. How about Core J?
Wow. Wow. I think we have to see if it is the 4 million. Then we have to multiply because it's the pound. This is dollars. Then we are multiplying it to the pound. Then that means we have to multiply it with the 1.8635.
Koje, if you do that, this thing that way,
hey,
I'm telling you, Trump will slap you.
That's why I'm in class.
Great. You see, this is a dollar and this is a dollar.
Oh, it's a dollar. Oh, yeah.
They're dollars, yes. These are $1.8635 equals 1 pound.
Pound.
Oh, yeah. So if you try multiplying, imagine you'll end up getting dollars squared. But thank you for trying. How about you, Bashir?
498.
Bashir, 498.
21.
46. 21406.
No, 2146.
46.
499.
499. So according to Bashir, it is 21, 46, 499, eh?
Yeah.
Victoria. Today we are with you here. Give us an answer. Yes, Vicky.
2147.
Quite interesting. 2147.
651.006.
Okay. Thank you very much. Is there somebody who has a different answer? A different answer from what we have here? Remember, the people who are watching us on Facebook, you can simply drop your answer as a comment. You can drop your answer there as a comment. Great. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's try this out. The first thing you need to do is to shake your hand. This concept of shaking a hand is very important, even if you are in an exam room. So long as you don't hit anybody, you just raise your hand like this and shake this hand, being guided by your home's currency. Being guided by your home's currency. So our home currency, remember, is the pound. And where is the pound? The pound is on the other side. The pound is on the other side. So if it's on the other side, having shook my hand like this, is on the other side. So it means that this other figure is the one that is called what you buy. And then this other figure becomes what you sell. There's an important concept that I would want us to get here, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this, look at this. If you're given, for example, 100 to 101 Kenya shillings per dollar, and we are Kenyans, where is the Kenya shilling? The Kenya shilling is on this side. And if it's on this side, the figure that is on the left-hand side becomes the buy. And this one here becomes the what here, the sell. So now here, I've been able to define my buy and what here sell. That is the first thing we need to do. And then number two, go ahead and define the role of the bank. The role of the bank. So in this particular case, of course, we said Trampton wants to pay. And if they want to pay, we said the bank has to help them by giving them this foreign cash. So the bank will sell. We even wrote this as a chorus, that if it's a foreign receipt, the moment I receive foreign money, I'll take to a bank and sell. The bank, or rather, the bank in this case here will buy from me. So here in this case here, we're looking at what the bank is going to do. So if it's a receipt, the bank buys. But if I want to make a foreign, an international payment, a payment, for payments, the banks will always do what here? Sell to us. So this is a foreign payment, and therefore the bank will do what here? The bank will sell. You have to define the role of the bank. So we'll sell at what rate here? At $1.825 per what here? Per pound. So from there, go ahead and exchange. So while exchanging, what do we do? Can we multiply? No. We shall come here and divide. Why are we dividing? Because these are dollars and these are dollars. If you try multiplying, you'll end up getting dollars squared. There is no country in the world whose currency can ever be squared, regardless of how strong that country is. So I would want to eliminate the dollar to be left with the pounds. So come and divide. Dollars per what here per pound. So you divide. So what do we have here? So we have 4 million divided by 1.8625, which will end up giving us 2147. 2147, 651 pounds like that. Pounds like that. Pounds. Pounds. Okay, now that brings us, of course, to the end of this session. I would want to get a general comment from that student that I've never taught before, either in our physical classes at RCM or even using this Zoom model of AfriSchool. I would want to get a general comment. How is this thing like? How was your experience?
The presentation was very clear.
Okay.
And even the speed was okay.
Great.
So, and that is why at least we've gone through the whole question properly.
Okay.
In terms of the presentation and even the how the Zoom has worked, it is okay. It's cool.
Oh, great.
On my part.
Your part, yes. Great.
Yes.
Can we hear from our gentleman this time round for us to have gender balance? How is that? Can this model in this case here be used to reach out to many of us outside there? Is it a good model? Mr. Fred, Mr. Emmanuel, I just want to hear your comment on this, or what can we do to even make it better for everyone? The boy child has let us down, but I want to believe they are happy, eh?
No, I'm still here.
Okay. So then, to meet
let me give a comment.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, the other normal classes that I've ever attended.
Yes.
So I think even oncoming classes, I think if you did them with the Zoom,
yes,
it's better than the other classes.
Than the other classes?
Better. Yeah, it looks more clear. Clear, yeah, in terms of clarity, yeah.
Clarity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I joined a bit late.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
What is your name?
My name is John Ireri.
John Ireri, okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you very much, John. So we look forward to meeting again on Sunday. I'll be doing this topic intensively on Sunday at exactly 2 p.m. Please, a last request, I would want you to go and bring on board all your friends to come and join us in that particular class. It will be a 3-hour session class, and I'm so sure it will be helpful. Thank you very much. Good afternoon.